All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
With the GMS New Orleans camp here to bring you a quick it's like a live camp. Prior to get started, we're gonna give infinite honors and prayers unto
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Kakadash.
the belongings to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which you brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. And again, through the spirit, we pray that this camp be edifying, and before the camera was turned on, me and the brothers were here, chopping it up and speaking about some things that we've seen over our social media feeds about this character, Nick Cannon, you know, who claims that the Bible is what's the word again? Allegorical. Okay. And if brothers could get that word allegorical real quick in the online etymology, it has some plain, definitions in it.
I'll get it for you.
You got it.
I had it in the Google definition.
Was it the same on the Google definition?
Yeah, whatever you guys cool.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just get whatever you got.
This is the AI overview on Google.
Mm-hmm.
It says allegorical describes a story, artwork, or play that uses symbolic characters, events, or settings to represent hidden, deeper meanings, typically moral, religious, or political concepts. It says,
No, go ahead. Keep going.
it says it acts as a metaphor where the surface narrative represents a secondary abstract idea. But it's basically just saying it's fate.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Fable.
It's a fable, yeah.
And again, just because he thinks that and he believes that, that doesn't stop nothing. Okay. All right, as brothers gonna get in Romans 3:3, we can kick it off with that precept, but we just about to go ahead and slice this down the middle, man. All right. Everything we believe, you have to believe. All right. If you're a follower of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, it's required for you to believe this thing 144%, man. All right.
Before you get that though, but when you look at the historical context of the scriptures, the actual stories, the actual deliverance out of Egypt, and look at the fire, brimstone, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a historical facts to actually back these things up. You can go and look up the Red Sea. You can search, put it in a Google search on that whatever it is, like historic what the things is with the wheels on
chariots.
The chariots.
Mm-hmm.
You can search chariots at bottom of Red Sea and you will see the Egyptian, the gold.
Mm-hmm.
These are historical facts.
Oh.
When you go into the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, you can look at the sulfur balls.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things are present day. They're still there.
How is Alexander the Great in the scriptures?
Yeah.
So what y'all gonna say that was fake too?
Yeah.
We all know that he was a prominent figure in history.
Yeah.
You got it.
And what else? We have to figuratively think about us coming here in slave ships.
Yeah.
I guess that's figurative too, right?
Yeah.
The curses that's put on us in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right, from verses 15 and up. All right, I guess that's figurative. I guess again, we ain't never been in slavery. I guess we ain't not the first fired, the last hired. I guess we ain't out here killing each other every day.
Yeah, we identify with the curses, man.
God. It's many ways to just slice, whatever the hell this damn nigga is talking about, But
go ahead, yeah.
Like it. But once before, real quick, this was the one guy who was about to have his whole career turned upside down, for denouncing the faith of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai.
It's out my mouth, brother.
Come on, man. This is who we dealing with.
Yeah, because at one he was saying, "Oh, we are the true Hebrews," but then when he got to getting threatened, the show got took. There ain't no more wilding out. All the funding for all the shit with Nickelodeon, all the shit that he was doing behind the scenes, all of that, all that money started diminishing away. Then what comes next?
Right.
The apology,
the
cop out. That's why brother say, if you don't stand for nothing, you can fall for anything, man.
He fell on his fucking knees.
Yeah.
Fucking cocksucker.
Nah, it's a book of allegorical tales, man.
Oh, man. But Baba Shai, get that Romans 3:3. So we can this rolling.
Romans 3:3. It says, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the fate of the Most High without effect? God forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sins, and mightest overcome when thou art judged."
Go from the beginning and stop at that point.
It says, God for verse 3.
Yeah.
It says, verse 3, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the fate of the Most High without effect?
And the answer to that is no, which the Lord is pretty much going to answer that question in the next verse. God forbid, okay? Just because these niggas think that this is figurative speaking going on, just because they don't believe the history of the scriptures, that they don't believe in Yahweh Bashim Shai, that doesn't stop what is happening. It doesn't stop prophecy from unfolding. All right, the Lord is still going to come back and destroy this place. World War III is spoken of in the scriptures. That's happening right now. Come on, man. We could jump on so many topics that we can clearly see that's happening right now, and look like a dumbass if the words to come out of our mouth to say, "Oh, that's just figurative." It's right in front of me, but it's figurative. Doesn't make sense. That's confusion. All right, and that's why the Lord gonna kill these niggas, man. All right, the shit that he doing right there, that could spark the light in a 2/3 head to not believe even more. So you're getting blood on your hands because now you're shooing his sheep away. You're shooing the Lord's sheep away. The scattering. That's the word I was looking for. You're scattering the Lord's sheep. You got to pay for that. But you got it.
Yep. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Mm-hmm.
No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them.
Read that first part again. Yep.
It says, Isaiah 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Yep.
No one of these shall fail.
No one of these shall fail. Okay? Not one word. We already know that the Lord is a power, is a man that cannot lie. All right? So, yeah, we're going to get that as well. But again, that's something that with the believers, man, the believers, we have to know that the Lord is really coming back to destroy this place ultimately, and you niggas is setting yourself right up to get in the tracks of the Lord, with this nonsense that's spewing out of y'all goddamn mouths, man.
Yeah, that's why I said no one of these shall fail, and then it says what? None shall want her mate.
Right.
Because when you even look into these other philosophies, these other books, nothing competes with the scriptures, man.
At all.
Don't know books. This book is always the #1 selling book year in, year out. Why? Because it tells you the past, the present, and the future, man.
Right.
It says, for my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them. So you can't do nothing against the Bible, man. The Lord it is only revealed unto his prophets. All right. The spirit had gathered us into this, man. If you don't have the spirit of the Lord on you, you're not gonna understand. And you're gonna be saying, "Oh, I think it's allegorical tales." Or you're gonna be saying, "Oh, I think this, I think this." When Jake started to say, "I think," then that means you don't truly believe,
right?
But go ahead.
Yeah, you have no confidence in what you're saying. And especially it has no weight behind whatever the fuck you're saying anyway.
Exactly.
That's just a vain opinion, man. All right.
How about that?
Con.
Yeah. Yes, sir, right 3. Yes, wherever you want to go.
You still have more in there, right? Or was that?
No, that was it.
That was in it. Get what I just asked you about the show.
This is Isaiah 42 and verse 9. It says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare.
Yep.
Before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. All right. That's what the Lord is first and foremost doing to his men. All right. That's why, if you look into Paul's writings, Paul say multiple times in the writing, brothers, I have no need to write them to you. All right. Because we know the things that we need to do. Okay. Because the Lord has already given us a spirit, of the understanding, of the having that Rakak Wadash, to know the history of things, to know that these things are not figurative. All right. We could go back and look in history and see that. All right. You don't need a ship to get back to Egypt. All right. Egypt to Slagi, from Egypt to Jerusalem. You don't need a ship to get there.
It's a small passage, man.
All right. But again, those former things, the Lord has been placing these things in front of us. And, first and foremost, for our elders and apostles who've been teaching these things, for us to have this information, to be able to have that mental stability in these end times. That's the point of prophecy. Prophecy is to know before and to know the things to come, But
All right, this is Sirach 15, and starting at verse 3. Fear not the imagination against thee, that not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Got it.
I brought that out. We shouldn't let their unbelief bother us because we got the spirit to know everything that the Lord spake in his book is true. So for those who come against the truth and say, like he just said, the Bible is a bunch of fables, hey, it's just gonna lead to death ultimately. Because he have no belief. But you got it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, this is Matthew 10 and verse 32. It says, whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. Verse 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven.
And that's a natural response. All right, you know, we always think about these in the sense of putting yourself in that position. All right, thinking it as a man. All right, if you're doing anything and you know I don't want you around me in a sense, you know that's because of your doing. Okay, but read that last part again, Bob Bishop. That last verse, the whole thing.
Okay, verse 33, it says, but whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father, which is in heaven.
So the Lord is going to deny you, man. You out here denying, saying that this shit fake, this doesn't mean nothing. You think the Lord ain't shit? You don't think the Lord is real? All right, when I step up and I see you eye to eye, we gonna handle it. All right, I'm gonna show you. You don't believe me? I'm gonna show you.
I got this word real quick, and this just basically goes back into, you know, what the elders basically coined term the phrase for this year, and I have the word apostate. It says one who forsakes his religion or faith, and that's pretty much what he did. He's basically forsaken the Lord, man. Like he was set up by Yahweh Shema Shah ultimately to fall because these guys that have money, that have power, right? Their words carry weight within society, right? And Esau knows that. So what does he do? He basically has to have them, you know, reject the things that they say, the things that they hold dear to, okay? The things that they say they have integrity or morals on, okay? And that gets what? People who are wavering within the faith or not sure, okay, to fall away.
You can get that word for me, Bob Michon?
It's
you want it? Yeah. Oh, fine. Yeah, you ain't gotta get. I was telling. Oh,
there's the word incredulity on the online etymology. It says disbelieving frame of mind. It says unbelief, unbelieving.
Yeah. This the on Google the AI. It says a state of disbelief, skepticism, or unwillingness to accept that something is true. Okay, so he's unwilling, you know, and that's a dumbass mindset to be in as an Israelite man.
Right.
How are you unwilling to accept the fact that you are royalty? You want to be a nigga? You want to be a slave for the rest of your life? So like that's why the Lord is definitely setting a separation between his men and these niggas, man. All right, because their mindset is to be here forever, bro. They think that all you have to do is what they say, the Lord knows my heart. It's figurative speaking now. You know, I figuratively have to be nice to people in life and do this and that. Like, come on, bro, it's stupid.
And even if he's trying to play the game, the Lord is still going to deny you in that day. That's why I brought out the scripture. He said, okay, well, in order to keep my certain, you know, status within society, I got to come out and say all of this. Okay, well, I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to really mean it. Right. That's not how it works. You know, the Lord is still going to punish you greatly in that day for denying him, man. Because ultimately you have people to fall by the wayside based on your words, man.
I got that.
You can get that real quick. You still got more now?
I was just making a point.
Okay.
It's 2 Corinthians chapter 4. 3. I was looking at 2. Number 2 got something too. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And if a buddy could get that word lost, Bible shot. It's verse 4. It says, in whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them.
All right, but the point is verse 3. Okay, it says, but if our gospel is hid, it is hid to them that are lost. All right, so that understanding that he has, that specifically speaking of Nick Cannon, all right, that mindset right there is a lost mindset. All right, he's lost in the head because he doesn't have the truth. Okay, and a lot of these 2/3 in really majority of the world is running around with their heads cut off, like a chicken with their heads cut off, man, because they are lost. They have no idea what's going on around. All right, but again, you know, us believing in this so-called figurative speaking, hey, I see that we got more level heads than these niggas around here because we know what the hell is going on, you know. But you got
But that's why it said in Wisdom of Solomon 5 that we fools accounting his life madness.
Right.
Man, these niggas believing in chariots.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about, man, the Lord gonna come back on a big ass UFO and save them. We fools. We're accounting his life madness, you know.
But they believe in a 445 big-headed great
Come on, bro.
alien big eye.
Niggas believing in Yaku, man. If you don't know who Yaku is, go look that shit up.
No, hey, and if I can say too, it's clear as day, man. Sometimes, bro, it's easy to see that the Lord is clearly not dealing, bro.
Yeah.
When the Lord has clearly denied somebody of even getting anywhere near me, you could spot those people a mile away because they do stupid shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's beyond me. Like that's some retarded. That's like I can like oh, you can't say that?
You can say no.
Oh, Mo?
No, yeah.
Oh,
You can't say the other.
Yeah.
Maybe a bundle of sticks.
yeah.
Yeah.
British cigarette.
British cigarette, brother. That's crazy.
You can't say that word.
Nah, well, let's scratch that day.
Get that word lost, bro. Barbara Shaw. Cause that's gonna back up what you were just saying.
Yeah.
You know, you see what our people in which the gospel is the good news, you know, and our people just don't want to hear the good news, man.
Yeah.
You know? I got that.
Nice things. Come. You got that word?
Yeah, that's that word lost in the outline of biblical usage. All right, in the blue letter is G622, apolomy. It says to destroy, to put out of the way entirely, abolish, put an end to, ruin, render useless, to kill, to declare that one must be put to death, to devote or give over to eternal misery and hell, to perish, to be lost, ruined, destroyed.
Give me those first two, and then jump down to when it starts to get to the kill and shit.
Let me read this. Let me read this again for you.
Yeah.
It's 2 Corinthians 4, verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost.
Got it. Give me the first two.
Yeah, it says to destroy, to put out of the way entirely.
Out of the way entirely. So you niggas have to be put out of the way entirely until this thing is over with.
Yeah.
All right. And it's going to be put away entirely by these ICBM nuclear missiles. All right.
Yeah, to back you up. Because the Lord not trying to have what happened in Egypt. When he took us out and them niggas went to, oh, well, we love us, well, why we eating this fake ass food? Why we can't have meat?
All right.
Lord ain't doing that no more.
Right.
You got it right.
Yeah. No more games is being played, man. All right. That's the mindset of the Lord, and that's the mindset that needs to be in his men. All right. So again, we take high offense of this shit, you know, but we again knowing that the Lord is gonna handle you, you know. The Lord is gonna handle this situation when it comes to you niggas and this nonsense, man, because it has to come to a stop, you know. But
the Lord, he using Nick Cannon as a beacon, to capture all the other ones that he wanted to be captured.
right.
Because anybody could have been coming out saying that. What is Nick Cannon? Somebody that people can look up to. He a famous person, so he got some sort of, yeah. So all the he said, he came out and said that. Nah, it's gonna be so many 2/3 believing that. Not the law just separating the sheep from the castaways. That's it.
Yeah.
Wheat from the little chat.
Hey, I'm on that.
Oh, it's like
Get out of here. I'm on that. Hey, but that's funny because if you go and read that in the comment section, you know, you got nothing but Jake and that, like, man, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, I've been saying that. But yeah,
it just confirmed it.
Just confirmed it. Yeah. I feel the same way, bro, you know, but now you go. Hey, yeah.
He's spewing nonsense out of his mouth. If I can say real quick, you know, because the things that he's saying, bro, is crazy, you know. But again, the Lord ultimately, you know, he's gonna put this nigga down, bro, and it's gonna be one of the greatest moments once we finally see, you know, what that wisdom of Solomon. Is this he who we have had in derision?
Derision.
You know, these fools who they count our life as madness. You know, believing into these things, man. These niggas got to get it, bro. But you got what you want to.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because these guys basically come as a hype train, right? You have all these different celebrities that come out um, saying that they, whatever, Israel, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that they the true, people or whatever the case may be, and then all these people start following, right? It becomes like a trend, right? You know what I'm saying? But, and I told a guy knew, I was like, man, he was like, man, did you hear what he said? I was like, I don't give a damn about what he said. But I was like, we've been teaching that for I don't know how long, and no one's hearing what we said. But what he said, it's
Wait till
it holds weight to it. And I want to get this real quick.
hey, if I can add to you, because
Yeah, 13. Oh, what you got?
oh, but look, if I can add to you, because you have what it was, you said something just now before you said we've been teaching that. You said something before that.
Yeah, they're basically, they people take what those people say to heart, like, you know what I'm saying? Like their words carry weight, you know. Yeah,
It slipped my mind.
okay, this is just real quick. This is Sirach 13 and verse 23. And it says, when a rich man speaketh,
Yeah.
every man holdeth his tongue, and look, it says what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if a poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
If I could say, you know, again, and that's the mindset of niggas in this world, man. Or really just people, you know,
period.
people,
Yeah.
period. All right, they only want to hear
That's what I want.
those wise words when it comes from a rich man. If LeBron was out here on the highways and byways, boy, they'd have the elect would have been sealed on the first day that he came out, bro. Like niggas would have been like, LeBron is telling us the truth. That's the king.
Right.
They would swear that LeBron is Yahweh Shai reincarnated coming back to this bitch, bro.
That's why the Lord can't deal with nobody like that.
Exactly.
You know.
You know, and again, that's how you know if we go through the history accounts of this figurative speaking, we see that the Lord don't need to deal with all these niggas. All right. So that figurative speaking of his name slipped me, but with the 300. Gideon and 300. You know how the Lord always constantly silly man. Slag, that was funny.
Hey, make this point pop again. Oh, the water, bro. $3? Yeah, that's my last $3. But I seen Elder Benatas Akbar, he had a clip on all these celebrities. You know, you had people like Carmelo, Fantasia, you know, all these different singers, you know, these rappers, these basketball guys, these NFL guys. It was just like a compilation about 4 minutes straight. And Jake, you know, was saying, oh, because y'all don't want, you know, or we could talk about the 12 tribes, you know, we could talk about the true Israelites.
That was the mellow shit.
That was a mellow shit, yeah. But it was just going through a compilation of each one, proclaiming that they know who we truly are. Like people like Erica Badu, you know, she putting it in her music, but people still don't catch on. Right? But when you have men out that the Lord has set up from 30, 40 years that's been saying this, it's like, oh, you know, but when they said, it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like the brother brought out, when the poor man cried, you know, his words are despised. Right. When the rich men cry out, all right, people with some kind of societal status in the world, in which the Lord used them as a tool to wake other Israelites up. You know, some of the elect, you might see that and be like, oh shit, like, and you go do digging. Then what? The Lord done brought you into the camp. You know, it's two sides of the coin, man. Wow. You know, but you got it, bro.
Read it one more time. I got
This is Sirach 13 and verse 23. It says, when a rich man speaketh, every man hold his tongue, and look, what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? and if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him.
So that poor man is us in this situation. Okay. So us, when it comes to speaking these words, man, the of truth. All right. People are not going to believe us just based off of our looks. That's the first red flag that people will see. All right. They see young men. They don't see anything properly set up of what they thought it's supposed to be. So that axes everything out. Okay. But again, that poor man has literally been speaking, telling you about World War III before any of this even happened. When 2020 happened with the plan, in the demic, when that happened, World War III wasn't in as crazy as it was right now. But now we're 6 years later, and now we're at the peak of this shit. And we're gonna sit here and they're not gonna listen and be like, oh, okay, the poor man was speaking this truth the whole time. All right, they just gonna be like, well, they was probably right, but we just gonna keep on hoping things get better, right? Because the rich man ain't come out and say that shit was supposed to be bad yet, But
the rich man come out and lie, man.
Yeah,
That's the rich man do.
Yeah,
and that's why you people believe every word they say.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. I still have some scripture.
Yeah. You been hold down.
1 Corinthians 14, but it started at 20. Now we receive not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is Yahweh, that we might know things that are of Yahweh. Which things we also speak not in the words which men's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Ghost teaches, comparing spiritual things with the spirit. Here's the point.
Mhm.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Shai, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Now about that out. So for people like what's his name? Nick Cannon, who don't believe in the scripture, it's hard for them to believe because they don't have the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Shai.
Right.
So they can't see the glory in these words, which for us, man, we hang on every word because we know Yahweh by Shema Shai is true.
Yeah.
We know he's going to do exactly what he said he's going to do. And we're seeing it now, like you said, with the coming of World War III, with famine on the brink, with this Salado collapse, everything that's going on right now, Yahweh by Shema Shai had his prophet already teached us.
Yeah.
What you got?
We get that James 4 real quick.
James 4:4. It says, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High?
Mm-hmm.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High.
And I brought that precept out to back up the point I made earlier about us taking, offense into this. All right. So we take offense to this and we're going to correct it, by the doctrine. All right. Doesn't have to be anything physical that we have to do to the man, because again, the Lord is going to handle it. All right. But again, we have to let you know the shit that spewed out of his mouth, all right, that aligned with the world. Okay. So now you have to know that if you agree with that, you are you are choosing your side, all right, by going with the world. And what did it just say at the end?
It said, therefore, it said, whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High.
Is the enemy of the Most High. So now you are setting, you're putting the red dot on your head, basically. All right, you're setting yourself up to die. All right, of being a friend of this world. All right, and listening to these tales, these fables that's spewing out of these niggas' mouth, man.
Yeah, you come up out to the Lord.
Yeah.
Like a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, the backyard up. That's because a lot of people don't know the name of Allah Shah, that title that Yahweh by Shema Shai used to have. They're going to find out for the senior. And if you really, you don't want to find it. Because you don't know the things the Lord can do to you. Let's look at some of the people in the world now, how they messed up, but still got a little life. That's the Lord showing you, hey, don't up like this.
Yeah.
But you got it, right?
Yeah. But we just start going around first.
I'm gonna get this one here. This is Matthew 18 and verse 7. It says, woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come, but woe to them that man by whom the offenses come, right? And I actually want to get this to tie along with it too, just real quick. Is Matthew 11 and verse 6. Verse 6, it says, and blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me, right? So when it comes down to, you know, the trials, the tribulations that's going to come with holding the truth, right? Because what do? They cancel them, right? They you know, probably threaten his money. Ain't no telling what, these people did. You can threaten your family, threaten your career. What happened, man? Are you gonna stay whole? You gonna stay firm till your how about your mouth shot? Or are you gonna fake the funk, right? Or be offended in the Lord, okay, and basically become a reprobate, right? You know what I'm saying? Those are the two choices, man. Because anybody that's not within the truth, man, they're basically a reprobate, especially if they pronounce the faith already. You know?
Yeah. I mean, but that's bro, that's the integrity of that, man. That holds so much weight, right? We got so many accounts that speaks of integrity, because it's something that you need in these moments. All right. Because like the brother just mentioned with that quote, man, if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. All right. And that's what most of these niggas are falling because they don't have no type of stability. They don't have no type of stable ground. Their foundation is not Yahweh Shah. All right. Their foundation is mammon. And what we know, you can't serve the Lord and mammon at the same time. All right. You have to love one and hate the other. All right. And that's clearly somebody that hates the Lord and loves mammon. All right. And we got the receipts because niggas literally tried to take your Lord away from you, your mammon, and you got on your fucking knees and you folded like a bitch. Like, come on, man.
Did more than folded.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, we know what probably went down behind those doors.
Folded, you got bent over.
Yeah. Lambo legs, huh?
Lambo legs.
Got him with the Bishop T.D. Jake.
Come on, man.
Have you ever been swallowed?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know he was at a Diddy party.
Yeah, he was getting power about him, man.
Come on, man.
You know,
You got more than that?
that was it.
No, that was it. That was it.
Okay.
This First Maccabees chapter, Second Maccabees chapter 6, and verse 18. It says, I'll start at 17. It says, but let this that we have spoken be for a warning unto us.
Mm-hmm.
And now we will come to the declaring of the matter in few words. So let this be a warning unto you. That's why the Lord has handpicked certain men, all right, from different walks of life to preach his word, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not willing to sacrifice or compromise in favor of Yahweh Bashim Awashai, then you're not fit for this, man.
Right.
It tell you in 2 Thessalonians 3 that the word of the Lord needs to have free course. All right. The scripture's not broken, man. But let me get this for you, bro.
If I can say real quick too, and then it talks about I'm thinking about when it talks about finding fault in them.
Yeah.
Of us being a reason why
Hebrews 8.
the Hebrew, con when it goes into the new covenant, but that's wrong with you niggas, all right, and that's what has always been wrong with you niggas, since we started going off, all right, that stupid ass mindset of staying away from the Lord, man, all right, and we hear, well, come on, man, the Lord is about to set this thing up and nip that shit in the bud, man, all right, this mindset of you niggas is about to be erased, and that shit is gonna be a joke, man.
There's Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Mm-hmm.
But he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spitted forth and came of his own accord to the torment.
So right now we have an example of Eliezer. All right, the status that he has is well known. Okay, he is well known. So right now, all right, it's briefly speaking of it, but in that actual situation, Eliezer was told to eat pork in front of his people. But somebody came up to him, roughly briefing it. Somebody came up to him and told him, hey, you don't have to be pork, you can be chicken or whatever, just chew it. Oh, is it? Kind of. We can just go through it.
Verse 20, it says, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. But they that had charge of that wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king, that in so doing he might be delivered from debt, and for the old friendship with them find favor. You want to say something on that?
Yeah, kind of. You know, Salaki, I'm getting ahead of myself, you know, with it. But again, you know, a man came up to him and told him, "Hey, you could just eat, you know, something lawful. It doesn't have to be nothing crazy.
I'm just gonna give you some beef.
Kind,
You know, just make it out like it's pork. You
kind,
know, that you eating it, so that all the people gonna be, you know, they're gonna see it and say, oh, it's
Yeah.
okay.
and you get to live.
Yeah.
You know, to him, that plan that he was spitting to Eleazar, hey, this is a win-win situation for everybody. All right, we get to fuck over your people.
Yeah.
You get to stay alive because you helping us, and we get to enjoy everything. Everybody goes home safe.
Yep.
You know, but Eleazar knowing and having that integrity of knowing, hey, this is unlawful to do this shit. If I do this, this is gonna be on my name.
Hold on, bro.
Oh, okay, Slaggy. I'm getting excited with it. Slaggy, brother. You got your
Yeah. Just to back you up, but they show you that Nick Cannon didn't have the same intent. Because he went with the move instead of going against it. Yeah,
Hey man, these people in the world, they're not rooted in your how about Shemel Shai. So they gonna go for anything, you know. But
got the brothers can get that the parable with the I'm talking about the stony ground
yeah,
of not being rooted. Probably should get it.
it's verse 23, 2nd Maccabees 6:23. But he began to consider discreetly. So in the thoughts, all right, should I do this shit or not? You know, it says, and as became his age, the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereunto he was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by God. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straight ways to send him to the grave. For it becoming not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 10, which is 90 years old, it says, we're now gone to a strange religion. And so they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me. And I get a stain to mine old age and make it abominable.
Come on, man. So again, the integrity, that's some outstanding integrity right there. All right. Of him having that inner thought, he done dialogued with himself right now of, man, the name that I've hold of, the integrity I've been holding my entire life of me being 90 years old now. All right. People gonna look and see he made it all the way to this point to stop being that, to be a wicked ass nigga. And he did 90 years, and at the 90 years, he gonna denounce the Lord. Like, it doesn't make sense. So he knows the power that he holds if he was to stand with the Lord. And in that situation, that could help boost the faith of the people that's around him. So now our people are looking at Eleazar of like, hey, that's a fucking man right there. He not scared of these fucking devils. He gonna stand for the Lord. You know?
I got more. Yep. It says, verse 26, but though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead.
Man, so even if I stay alive, the Lord gonna kill me.
Even if I die.
Even if I we dealing with somebody who can kill the body and the spirit.
Yeah.
Do you Breaker, get that?
Matthew 10,
Tom,
26.
you can get that real quick.
But it said, bro, it said Almighty neither alive nor dead, because he knew that he was gonna have to come back in reincarnation and live out that decision that he made. Because what, he was 90, you know, Jake average term of life was, you know, 100 years was far-fetched, you know, because that high stature been gone since the time of, you know, Methuselah and Noah. You know, that stature been gone, you know, living 500, 800, you know, years. The peak was 100, man.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, I'm gonna live for a couple more years. Like, what am I doing?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But it says that verse 27, well, for now, manfully changing this life, I will shew myself such an one as mine age required with, and leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went into the torment.
Immediately. All right. This is an example that again the Lord has placed in front of us for to be able to follow, man. Right? In these times to see. All right. Again, that's somebody that you would like to be like. All right. That's somebody that you would like to strive to be like. Okay. If that situation, we know if that situation was to happen in front of us, which is not far-fetched at all, you know, if we know that what's the result of what's going to happen. We know that his book is going to be written in the book of life. You know, his name, it's like his name is going to be written in the book of life.
It says, and leave a notable example,
Notable.
to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws, man.
Come on, brother. You know we got to get that Sirach 44 or is it 42? Of a memorable name.
Yeah, I got you.
Memorial
Yeah.
name. Con. You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say, and that's the complete opposite of a nigga like Nick Cannon. Right? He chose to die rather than the cause. His people, Israel, the Israelites to go off and air. He chose to die. But you got Nick Cannon who was put in a position similar to this, who chose to sell out, right? And lead his people astray.
Yeah.
That's the difference between those two men. And now that man, his name is in the Bible. It's gonna be remembered, and you're gonna get the scripture, right? But Nick Cannon gonna be one of those people in the kingdom of heaven who gonna be shamefaced. Right? His memorial ain't gonna be the same. But you got it.
Yeah, brother. Basically, you know, explained that Daniel 12 and 2. You know, waking up in that dust. You know, of shame. You know, everlasting shame that you niggas gonna be in. You know, but denouncing the Lord, man. Your power. This is not everybody else's power. This is your power who put you in the position that you in. All right, but you gonna denounce him and you gonna praise this damn devil. You know, these damn JOOs. You know, you gonna stay on your knees to make sure that the funds keep coming in, that your children can keep on eating and living that lifestyle. You know, so come on, man.
Pray for them too.
Yeah, they gonna get it.
They gonna get it too.
Come on, man. They have more.
So I know that
Oh, that was the
Sirach 41.
yeah.
It's Sirach 41 and 11.
Yeah.
It says the mourning of men is about their bodies, but an ill name of sinners shall be blotted out.
Should be blotted out. All right, that's a name that's going to get blotted out right there. All right. Again, when we look back at those stories of these niggas spewing these things out of their mouth, like I said earlier, man, it's gonna be a joke. Like, he said that?
Yeah.
Like, come on, like we gonna joke in the kingdom, bro. You know, Jake gonna be Jake. We gonna joke in the kingdom, bro. You niggas that's doing that shit right now, you gonna get out the good laugh, you know, of the nonsense that's spewed out of that, bro.
Hey, they go Nick Cannon right there. Hey, Nick.
You started at 8, huh?
I started at 11.
At 11.
Want me to go up?
Hell yeah.
Where you at, bro?
44.
40. I'm at 41.
Oh, you in 41?
Yeah, I didn't go to. I was gonna go to 44 after.
Oh, Slack, my bad.
Yeah, I got 44 loaded up.
Yeah, that's what I thought you was reading 44. Slack.
You got something on you? Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Con, this Sirach 35 and 7.
Yes, indeed.
Or I'll start at 6. Sirach 35 and 6, it says, the offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor thereof is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten.
Should never be forgotten. All right. The Lord is going to remember this. All right. The Lord is going to remember the works that we are doing for him. All right. Yeah. It should not be forgotten. All right. The Lord is not unrighteous to forget it. You know, roughly paraphrasing. You know.
Yep. Back in Sirach 41 and 12, it says, "Have regard to thy name, for that shall continue with thee above 1,000 great treasures of gold."
Have regard of thy name. All right. That's the gold. That's the price amount that's set on your name. Okay. And then you know we got the Tony Montana. You know, all I got in this world is my balls and my word.
Yeah.
You know, so we hold on to the words that comes out of our mouth. All right, we stand for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, but again, having regards of your name is priceless, man. All right, because again, that's something that people are gonna remember you by, as we just explained. And there's so many different accounts that what I thought you was reading in the Maccabees, that it'll briefly tell you of all the accounts of the righteous things that these people did, that our people did when it came to integrity and all the other things that they did.
Yeah, because Jake wonder where they get that from. You have fathers, brothers have, fathers, man. And the first thing, my pops, he heavy on, hey, man, you got the same last name as me, bro. Reputation. Your name, what you do in your life, it has a reputation behind it, especially your name, your last name. And where do you think Jay get that from? The Heavenly Father, man. The Lord said he got respect unto his name. He magnified the word above his name, but there's nothing more important than having a name.
Right.
Because this is what you're called by. Yahweh. He put his name in the head tribe, Judah. You see? It's a direct reflection of you, and that's the importance of it. The things that you do and you carry weight with your name, that's going to transfer over into the kingdom. Yeah. Whether it be good or whether it be bad, man. But verse 13, it says, a good life had but few days, but a good name endured forever.
Come on. So we witnessed somebody go for the good life. He didn't go for the good name. He went for the good life. And that's what these niggas do. They want the good life. They want that luxury for a season. All right. But we're here to tell you that, hey, it doesn't make sense. All right. But that everlasting name, to have your crown, to be remembered, to be praised.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Forever. Now, we're not talking about just for tomorrow. We're not talking about next year is going to be a new season and somebody else going to get praised. We're talking about everlasting praising, man.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the time to do it now. Have regards for your name. But
I got two with your brothers.
He was still holding something. Okay. Because we were still swinging. Like you jumped.
I'm holding. Research, bro.
You got it.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna go with, this is thinking about. It's Sirach 31. I'll start at 5. It says, he that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, i.e. the rich in spirit, and had not gone after gold. Right? And ultimately, Nick Cannon, he went after gold. Right? He sold out for money. He sold out, he led his people astray, to keep on living a good life. Right? And he gonna be destroyed for it. Because he went after gold. Right? Which is not it's not even no such thing as real money on this side. So you sold out for nothing but to be destroyed. You got it, though.
This is Sirach 41 and 12 in a G&T. It says, protect your reputation. It will outlive you and last longer than 1,000 treasures of gold. Come on, man. So your reputation is going to outlive you. And that's the importance of it. All right. That's how we are still here speaking of Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because their name has outlived them, based off the reputation.
Even Yahweh Shai himself.
Yeah.
We still talk about Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
His sacrifice, what he did, the miracles he wrought. We still, because he left his reputation behind.
Yeah.
How his willingness, look, he went to pray to the Father. Look, if this cup be go past, but no, the cup ain't passed, he had to go through it. Yeah. Bro, we still talking about Yahweh Shai. That was 2,000 years ago.
Hey,
that's the reputation. Go ahead.
If I can land back even more, we're talking about we could go in Judah of how the other nations know about the reputation of the Lord.
Yeah.
Because they knew how to attack us when we are going against our power. They knew to attack us on a Shabbat when we were resting. All right. So they know these things. All right. But it was something that you just said. Salaki. It was a
like a reputation of Yahweh Shai?
Yeah.
About a sacrifice.
Yeah, just his reputation and just the general of the Lord. Everybody know. Oh yeah. Even when we was conquering our lands, when it goes back into the book of Judges, all the other nations around the world knew that, oh, these are the Israelites. Yeah. These are the people that has their power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, with them. We don't need to mess with these people. All right, but again, that's the name. That's the that name being outliving, what roughly paraphrasing what the brother just said,
Yeah. Even though the word, the book itself,
Yeah.
that's the Lord's name in the whole book. This the Lord, whole reputation, right here. You can't get around that, brother.
No.
That's why I said good name endure forever. Your reputation gonna endure forever, man. You know.
Go all the way back to when Yahweh Shai was creating. Come on, bro. All right. When he say he put, well, I was looking at it. It's Proverbs 8:22. I'll just read this part. It says, "The Lord possessed me in the beginning of His way, before His works of old." All right, and then when you go down, all right, it tell you how basically Yahweh Shai was there before everything. Right? He was there to create everything. So His reputation goes back to, and like it don't stop. And it's still continuing to this day. We still talking about Yahweh Shai to this day, man. You got it.
Yeah, it's Isaiah chapter 42, verse 8. It says, I am the Lord Yahweh. That is my name. And my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images.
Come on, man. I am the Lord. All right. I will not give my glory to another. All right. The Lord is going to hold on to His reputation. He's going to make you niggas know that this is me. The Lord put His name on a receipt of everything that He do. So you have to know that the Lord is willing and dealing around here, man. And He's going to show Himself, because again, with you niggas gotta you always gotta seek. Y'all can't believe at first. Y'all have to get this physical ass whooping for you to believe that all of these things are faithful and true. You know, but we could keep getting brothers precepts off. We got you. I'm sorry.
It's 1 Timothy 6 and 17. Charge them that are rich in this world that they be not high-minded, nor trusting uncertain riches, but in the living power who giveth us richly all the things to enjoy.
You got it.
Now about that out, just for those people who like to put their faith in money in the riches of this world. It's of the Lord that you got those riches. So why would you trust in something that you know can be taken away in an instant instead of a power who's the one who's giving it to you? But you got it out.
Yeah. People love, microwave feelings, man. That's what they get high on out here, man. Off the doctrines of this damn devil, right? And everything that this devil pushes on our people is just to, hey, live life. Hey, dude, just keep on spending money. Keep on living and keep on being in that docile spirit. All right. But come on, man. The Lord is coming back to fuck niggas up. So you have to be prepared and do the things that you need to do. All right. Which is serve the Lord. These things are real simple, man. And it has a reward behind it, man. All right. And this is the message that we are pushing. This is the message, the correct message, the good news, the gospel that needs to be spread. All right, not the nonsense of this shit being fake, man. All right, Jake ain't got nothing to hold on, so he want to bring everybody else down with him. He wanna keep his riches and keep on knocking everybody down. He don't want everybody to eat. The Lord wants everybody to eat. That's why He got to knock you niggas off. When I say everybody, Israelites, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, to clarify that. Before niggas try to make a clip on that. But you got it.
I got one real quick just to back it up. And this is basically the word we're supposed to be, because, I'm going to get the a verse out of the book of Timothy. And Timothy, was basically under the charge of Paul. Okay, Paul writing this song on what the things to do and things not to do, how to how to govern the body, right? How to look out for people, apostates, okay, different doctrines to avoid and things of that nature. All right. But this is slide here. Yeah, 1 Timothy 4 and verse 16, it says, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them. For in doing so, and for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. Right. So he was telling them, right, when you read these different epistles, that hey, look, you're gonna have people, you're gonna have bug outs come up, you're gonna have different people coming up, preaching different doctrines, right? There was different accounts of Paul even cursing people, right? Or, Alexander, Hymenaeus, okay, but he was giving him the proper roles and tools to basically perform the job while Paul will be gone, basically taking over. But you want to read that precept again? It's First Timothy 4 and verse 16. It says, "Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine."
Right. The most important thing is taking heed, though.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take heed to yourself and to the doctrine. If you don't take heed, what you gonna do? You're gonna keep going further and further and further away. Go ahead.
Continue in them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we can see that, basically Nick Cannon was a reprobate because he didn't continue in them, right? It says, take heed to yourself, meaning examine yourself, right? Make sure that you're in the faith, you're doing all the proper things, the works of Yahweh Shem Shai, and the doctrine. The doctrine was, pretty much one of the most important things. If not the most important thing.
The 14 say, they say from the child,
It says they lack not the gift. Oh, it says, verse 14 say, neglect not the gift of me.
I thought it might be 3.
It might be, it might be 3.
When they talk about and that from a child, God has known the Holy Scriptures, right?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. But you got it.
Now, just to finish it off, it says, for in doing this, thou shalt both save thyself, right? That's that taking heed to thyself, and them that hear thee, and the doctrine, because that's what we do, man. We preach the knowledge of Yahweh Shema Shai, to our people, man. And the people, that take heed to the doctrine, right, that basically receive us, or another word for that is accepting, right, they'll be able to, come into the fold.
Yeah. So gradually, pretty much getting in the book, man. All right, getting into the understanding of things. That's how you take heed. All right, to stay in the understanding. All right, stay in the scriptures, pretty much. All right, this is gonna keep you, in that stable mindset. These times of trouble comes to come towards us. But I just
You want that Psalms?
yeah, Psalms 14:1.
Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that do it good.
The fool said in his heart that there is no God. All right. And that could be first and foremost speaking of Esau, Edom, but again, that's 2/3 of our people as well, man. All right, they're non-believers. All right, they are fools. They are fools. Consider this fool. All right, and there's many fools in the scripture. They have fools that's gonna die for this word, for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and there's fools that just lack understanding, that lacks that oil. Okay. I think that was it on that one.
That was the point.
Yeah. You said you had another one?
Yeah, I have some.
You got it. We wrapping around them. Or no. Okay.
No, go ahead.
You got one?
Mine kind of fast. Mine kind of fast.
Oh no, I had that.
I got Ciroc.
You got one?
I had a Ciroc 3. The
Yeah.
vein opinion.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, this is Ciroc 3 and 24. I'll just get 24. It says Ciroc 3 and 24, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment. And that applies to Nick Cannon. Because he's one of those fools that brother just brought out in the Psalm 14:1. When he denounced the Lord, he basically said that he don't exist. He basically saying that the scriptures are broken. They fake, they made up, right? But he's been deceived by his own vain opinion, right? Evil suspicion had overthrown his judgment. He got Satan on him, man.
Fucking Satan, man.
You got it. Read it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was about to tell him read it again.
Oh, look, hey, you know what that word overthrown mean in the GMT? They judgment got warped.
Warped. Warped is crazy.
Their own minds have warped their judgment. And we know that word warp means to get hit with a missile, man. He's finished.
I'll read that one more time and we get that Jeremiah.
Sirach 3:24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion had overthrown their judgment.
Okay, that vain opinion. We get the Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right. So that vain opinion, you know, brothers, we deal with this shit every day, bro. We have vain thoughts that come through our head that is like, all right, that's kind of bugged out. That's wicked. Why the fuck am I thinking that this shit needs to stop? You know, but that's the again, first and foremost, the flesh, but the things that we have to deal with the heart, speaking of the lie of our mind, you know. But again, it says the heart is deceitful above all things, desperately wicked. Who can know it? Read verse 10.
Oh shit.
Oh, so like it.
I got you. Hold on. It's Jeremiah 17:10. It says, I, the Lord Yahweh, search the heart. I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
To give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. All right. So you reap what you sow. Nick Cannon right now, and 2/3 of you niggas that believe in this, you're going to reap what you sow. Okay. But it says, I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even give every man according to his ways. So ultimately, again, we know that we free will doesn't exist. We know that the Lord is operating with these niggas to make them pay for whatever the fuck they gotta pay for. All right, that's them receiving the fruit of his doings. Okay, based off of the folly that's spewing out of his mouth. But I think that was it on that.
This is Titus 2 and it's like 1 and verse 15, and it says, "Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled."
Yeah.
Man. So yeah, this man basically has a defiled conscience, man, and he has a reprobate mind. Okay, when you go into that word conscious, it basically goes into your perception of thought being off, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord gave this man over to a wicked mindset, man. You know, and like I said, it said to the pure all things are pure, but to the wicked and undefiled is nothing pure, right? And he's trying to find basically impurity within the scriptures, man, which is completely pure. That's going off, you know.
Yeah.
Hosea 4:6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children.
So that's another example, bringing up that precept you brought out earlier, Hezekiah, of the Lord. What's that word? I forgot the word already. Just read it again. I'm gonna hit a word.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Rejected. So our people has rejected knowledge. They have rejected the Lord. All right. So what that precept he said, the Lord said He's going to reject you. Okay. So that's another version of rejecting the Lord, is rejecting His word. All right. So people think that, okay, I'm not doing that bad. Is the Lord really going to judge me in that situation? You're still doing bullshit. You're still rejecting the Lord. Just because you're not rejecting as worse as this person doesn't mean that, okay, you just rejecting a little bit. You're against the Lord. You set your side. You are a rebel, and you are rejecting against the Lord. So now you are in it. You know. But
got some. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Back of what he just brought out. It's Jeremiah 6:30. Reprobate silver shall men call them, because Yahweh by Hashem Shai has rejected them. Like you bring that out just to back them up. Lord rejected them. We call them reprobate silver. You got it out.
Luke 10:16. It says, he that heareth you, heareth me. And he that despiseth you, despiseth me. And this real letters, it's a Hawashai speaking. It says, and he that despiseth me, despiseth him that sent me.
Read it one more time. I won't stop at that first period.
It says Luke 10:16. He that heareth you, heareth me.
Mm-hmm.
And he that despiseth you, despiseth me.
Con. Okay, so we go into the men of the Lord. All right. So if you believe that the men of the Lord are these words, all right, you actually believe into the Lord. All right. We are the mouth of the Lord. All right. We are speaking the words of the Lord. Okay. But again, what it says after that?
It says, and he that despiseth me, despiseth him that sent me.
So not only do you despise Yahweh Shai, you despise Yahweh. You despise the Heavenly Father who sent Yahweh Shai. Okay? So it's just a chain reaction of destruction that comes behind that, of despising the Lord, man. All right. And ultimately, again, the Lord, he is gonna get that even get back when it comes to things like that, bro. All right, he's a just power. He believes that, hey, you have to pay for whatever the fuck you did, and that's something that you have to pay for, But yeah, I told him get the Romans. That's what it was.
Yeah, Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
And that's all that matters right now. All right. So we hearing this, man, and we gotta edify it, just because we still out here preaching on the highways and byways. All right. But again, we know that the elect has obtained, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. We pretty much believe that speaking as a man, that the elect is sealed, man, and that the prophecy is on his last, toenail, But read it through one more time.
Time. Romans 11:7. What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
So this faith, that's the most priceless thing that's out and about right now. So the faith that we have in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that's again what the elect has obtained. And that's the riches that people in this world truly want. They don't even know it yet. But that's something that they've been looking for their entire life. That's how men can get in this truth and figure out that, oh shit, everything that I've been searching for has been vain and has been nothing. But everything that the Lord has placed me in here, it holds a value of that you can't even number, But what it says again with the last part?
It says, but the election had obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Keep going.
According as it is written, the Most High had given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day.
So this ain't gonna be the first time that we're gonna hear nonsense. We've been hearing nonsense ever since that we stepped in the street, man. So this ain't gonna be the last day. It's gonna keep on happening until the Lord comes back and destroy these people, man.
It's going to get worse and worse.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse and worse, man. We're talking about a time no other. We're talking about peak scoffing. All right, we're seeing scoffing that we ain't never seen before. Niggas is really gonna try to get at us, about this thing, and we have to make sure that we are grounded in this thing, man.
That's why. Oh, you want to say something? Go ahead, bro.
No,
I'll disagree. Yeah, but that's why David, even niggas was scoffing in the time of David. That's why he said, "Let their table become a snare."
Yeah.
But I think do it say that?
That's what it said. Yeah, you go do some more.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. It's verse 9. And David said,
Yep, that's it.
let the table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. I was holding that too in Isaiah. Just that same one that see the same I was holding that earlier. It says, verse 10, let the eyes be darkened that they may not see.
Wait, read 9 again.
Verse 9, and David said, let the table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them.
Read this right quick. This Psalm 69 is a Psalm of David. It says 69 and 19. It says, thou hast known my reproach and my shame and my dishonor. In which we know what David reproached his shame and his dishonor was. The things and sins he committed. All right, the judgments that the way the Lord judged him in public, through his children you know, him being with that people throwing rocks at him, you know, cursing him and shit. That was his reproach, right? That's why he said, "Thou hast known." It says, "Mine adversaries are all before thee. Reproach had broken my heart, and I am full of heaviness. And I looked for some to take pity, but there was none. And for comforters, I found none." Verse 21, they gave me also gall for my meat, and my thirst they gave me vinegar. In which that's referring to who? Yahushua, man. It says, verse 22, let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, and let it become a trap, and let their eyes be darkened, that they see not, and make their loins continually to shake.
Oh man. David basically just said, man, Lord, kill these niggas.
Yeah.
Kill these niggas, Lord. They didn't put me through this. Lord, I done been through hell, Lord. You know, I understand what I went through. I understand what I did. I'm sorry. I repent. You know, David went did the whole thing, man. You know, but again, he still sent that prayer up of like, Lord, they still doing it to me, Lord. Please, just kill these niggas. You know, and that's what we are doing right now. We are instead of David right now of knowing the enemies that we have around about us, including our people that are a part of our enemy. And we're here to say, Lord, kill these things, man. You know, destroy this place soon. Baba Shah, Baba Shah, Baba Shah, how about you now shot? You know, destroy this place, come back, return, and let us get into our kingdom in glory, man. You know? Oh, it's like, you got it.
Sean, we read that point where David said, let this be let the thing that be good for him be a snare, I think it said.
Yep, it says, let their table become a snare before them, and that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap.
That's what happened to what you call him? What's his name?
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. The Bible was something that was supposed to heal him. Something that's supposed to bring him close to your house by Shema Shai. But because of the prayer of David, it become a snare to him. You know, he's gonna be destroyed for talking against the one thing that should have saved.
Yeah.
But you got it up.
Yeah. And that's a good point. You know, you shooting a hand away that's trying to feed you. You know? So now you about to starve to death. You know? You got something, Hezekiah? Yeah, I was just going backwards.
This is the back up, you know, what you brought out in that Psalm 69.
Yeah,
It's basically
28. Oh yeah.
Yeah. God, it's a couple verses, but I'm gonna get to the point. There's Isaiah 28 and 8. It says, for all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. God. Man, I might as well just read from 7. God. Verse 7, it says, but they also have erred through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Hey, but that goes into how, you know, we ultimately, it said how, that's the same chapter that say, how shall we hear, you know, unless a preacher be sent to us. Is that the same chapter? I know it's in Romans, but I think it said that in that too. Read that part again for the tables.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Verse 8, it says, for all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean.
Yeah, and that's what pastors, all right, these other different doctrines have been before the truth. It's just was tables full of vomit, you know?
Because they're not eating of Yahweh Shah.
Exactly.
They eating of that strong drink, the philosophies of Esau Edom in this world, man.
Yeah, they just getting drunk, throwing up, getting drunk again, throwing up, you know?
Yeah.
And eating that very same vomit that
Yeah.
they just threw up.
And just keep and going back to the same shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Because it would have been a law, statutes, and commandments, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Like, but it's not. It's these other things, you know, in this world. Vomit and things of that nature is impurities. That's not life.
Right.
But verse 9, it says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing. Yet they would not hear. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Yeah. But that's a perfect example of this Nick Cannon situation. All right. What was given that was supposed to be that life was supposed to heal us. It condemned our people, because they went after the ways of this world. But you got it.
Get that joke.
It's Job chapter 21, verse 14. It says, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways.
Come on, man. All right, and again, it's going to speak of the wicked, okay? But the wicked is first and foremost Esau, Edom, to clarify that. But the 2/3 of our people are also wicked as well, okay? But you can keep going.
Verse 15. What is the Almighty, that we should serve him? Question mark. What profit should we have if we pray unto him? Question mark.
Niggas don't see no value in it, man.
That's crazy.
It just as Esau, Edom, who desire to be as the Most High, see no value in the Lord. 2/3 of our people, again, as y'all brothers been saying, has drunken the wine of this damn devil and believe just like him. Okay, believe that it's no, you receive nothing for serving the Lord. The Lord is not gonna pay you in righteousness, for serving him. None of these things don't exist. It's just bullshit. All right, but keep going.
Yeah. And that's why David said, let their table become a snare. Let their Lord, please blind these niggas' eyes, man.
Yeah.
Don't let them understand the truth.
Right.
Please.
Yeah.
Put them in the way of destruction.
Because it's clear as day that they don't want it. If you don't want it, why should we even give it to you? I'm sitting here telling you, Lord, like, hey, these niggas don't want this shit, But you got it.
Step over here. But verse 16, it says, lo, their good is not in their hand. The counsel of the wicked is far from me.
I'm reading it now. NLT. Job 21 and 14. It says, and yet they say to God, go away. We want no parts of you and your ways. Come on, man. And we got that account out there in Samuel.
Yeah.
When our people wanted a king, this was the whole reason why Saul even came in the picture, because our people wanted a king, and just like the other nations, they didn't want to hearken into the ways of the Lord. All right?
They didn't want to deal with Moses either. We want to talk to the Lord.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah, fuck this nigga, man. hey, man, we don't want to talk to you. We want to talk to the Lord.
Come on, man.
And the Lord told him going that fast.
Yeah.
Start lightning and thunder. Niggas change their mind quick.
Yeah. Right. But this is verse 15. It says, who is the Almighty, and why should we obey him? What good will he do? What good will it do us to pray? Come on, man. It don't even make sense to pray, let alone do the works for the Lord. Yeah. What's going to happen? All right. And then you got in Peter's, the scoffing that's been happening in the times even before our fathers, that this shit is still going on. Yes. These are the scoffers that's appointed here, that's about to receive the wrath of the Lord, man. For having this mindset, just reading this pisses me off to see that they really got rebellious ass niggas that despise the Lord. Of all the greatness that he has done for us, bro. That's disrespectful, man.
Yeah, the same niggas that was complaining and murmuring in Egypt. Go ahead.
They can always do this. This is part of his nature. He just don't rebel. Even with Esau, they love Esau more than they love the Most High, but they still rebel against Esau in some cases.
Yeah. Let me read 16 to back that point up. This is Job 21 and 16. It says, they think their prosperity is of their own doing, but I will have nothing to do with that kind of thinking. Oh, come on, man. The Lord said, get away from me with that, man. I kind of got you. Don't be nowhere around me with that type of thinking that I can't do nothing for you.
Ooh, I got you.
Like, come on, bro. Let me get this brother precept.
It's Jeremiah 5 and verse 20. It says, declare this in the house of Salakia. Jeremiah, Jeremiah was he talking that smoke. Yeah.
That's why they try to kill him.
That's why, Isaiah too. That's why they cut Isaiah in half. Isaiah was cursing you niggas out, man.
Where should they go?
You know?
To the sword, to the sword?
Yeah.
To the dog, or whatever.
Yeah, bro. Go ahead, bro. I got some smoke though.
This is Jeremiah 5 and verse 20. It says, declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, and which have ears and hear not. Fear ye not me, saith the Lord, will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree, that it cannot pass? And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail.
Hey, if you stop right there, Baba Gashar. This is one of my favorite precepts because this is the Lord really get to talk his shit, man. All right. The Lord literally, if you didn't hear what the brother just said, the Lord just explained the waters, all right, specifically of the oceans and the sand. All right, and how that it has bounds that it cannot pass.
Yeah.
The oceans will never get over here, and the sand will never get all the way in the ocean. And this is the power that I hold. This shit would never happen. And this is, you niggas want to go against me? Hey, come on, man. You got it. Like,
Your backyard. You got to think about the prophet that even wrote this.
Yeah.
He had to be in fear because the Lord, when the Lord said this, you gotta imagine somebody talking. Oh, he pissed off. Hey, y'all niggas ain't gonna. So you're not scared of me.
right.
Not me.
Yeah.
And you know the reason why this water can't come back the same because I said so, huh?
Right.
You ain't afraid of me. All right, bet.
Yeah, brother. The Lord is talking his shit, man. That's big yikewad, man. The biggest shake, man. That's what we're dealing with. You got it, bro.
Actually, I have another precept about this one, but it says, I'm going to read it again. It says, fear ye not me, thus saith the Lord, will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree, that it cannot pass. And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it.
Just the Lord's creation in general showcases his power. All right. These are things that we think are very beautiful. We think these things, specifically that. I could just harp on that point of how beautiful the water, ocean, and all that shit is. But again, the damage that could come behind it that the Lord created, what it can, if you really want to get pissed off.
There's people that's be standing in the beach. They'll be in the beach. They'll be like halfway in the water, and the water just in a current, and then it will be gone within the next second. It's never to be seen before again.
Yeah.
You know. You gonna say something?
Yeah, back you up.
Yes, 3,020.
To give credence to what kind of power the Lord holds. Remember, we were coming out of Egypt. The Lord split that sea. That's the kind of power he got. He basically told the sea, "Hey, spread apart," and it did this. You got your house out who was on the boat. Remember everybody going crazy. Oh, it's a storm, man. What we gonna do? Your house out there was like, yeah, what's wrong with you? He went out there, hey, turn that shit down.
Right.
Hey, but you don't fear that.
Right.
That's what the Lord saying. Like, you realize those are the kind of wonders I can do at any time. You don't fear.
We're talking about the same people who seen the sea get split and crossed over on dry land and then went to talking shit. The same people.
Yeah, you talk about skyscraper high water.
Yeah.
Just something ridiculous. Ain't no telling how deep the sea.
Bro,
That's crazy, man.
crazy,
Man.
bro.
I told a Jake, man, the other day, he was like, yeah, the Lord gonna come say, yeah, because the Lord's gonna come and get a remnant of people from Babylon the Great, which is America. I was like, but I told him, I was like, if the Lord came and got everybody now, it'd be the same thing that happened in ancient Egypt. Well, not they all just complain. The Lord grabbed a bunch of niggas, bro. It'll be worse. It actually be worse.
Jacob be on the chariots complaining.
Right.
Man, I had
I
had that motion going on.
I had 100K in it. Jacob,
Hey, look, I know y'all gonna laugh about this. You remember years ago when Jay said, "Man, we gonna have jobs in heaven."
What?
That's what Jay looking for.
On that Steve Harvey shit.
Yeah.
That boy said, name something you want in heaven. That boy hit the thing and said, a job. You want to work in heaven? Like, that's crazy.
They won't be. They a homeborn slave, man. Jake wants to be the slave at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's what it points at. Everything points in that direction that they want this place to continue. Yeah.
Verse 23 it says, "But this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Neither say they in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our power."
So after all of realizing all of these things, they still saying, that ain't it. That ain't it. Go ahead.
And it says, "That giveth rain, both the former and the latter. In his season, he reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest."
After you go to
That was it.
Yeah, that was it on it.
Let me bring this out to back you up though. The same mindset, the same people, the same chapter, and this applies to our people today. That's why the Lord said he's weeding out, he's cutting off 2/3. Hey, stay here. See what I got. This Jeremiah 14. What's up?
No, I just want to see.
This Jeremiah 14, and I'm gonna start at 9. I'm gonna start at 10. I'm just 10. So Jeremiah 14 and 10. It says, "Thus said the Lord Yahweh unto this people," the same people that have that revolting, that rebellious mindset, right? It says, "Thus have they loved to wander. They have not refrained their feet. Therefore the Lord did not accept them. He will now remember their iniquities and visit their sins." Then said Yahweh unto me, "Pray not for this people, for their good." So the Lord told him, "Hey, I'm gonna pray for them niggas, man. For they good though." Right. Because like when this destruction, when this judgment come, you're gonna say, "Man, the Lord did me good." Right. Yeah, dude, the Lord did me good for this. You know?
read it down in GNT, not GNT,
Let me read 12.
Yeah, dude.
It says, "When they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offering and an oblation, I will not accept them, but I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence," man. So that's the judgments that's written for you 2/3. The same niggas that was murmuring, talking shit against the Lord. Hey, this was in Jeremiah. All right, this applies to you today. Why? Because you're still doing the same exact thing.
This is Jeremiah 14 and 10. In NLT, it says, "So this is what the Lord says to his people." That man got his spiritual powers out of it. Jeremiah 14 and 10, it says, "So this is what the Lord says to his people. You love to wander far from me and do not restrain yourselves. Therefore, I will no longer accept you as my people. Now I will remember all your wickedness. Now I will remember all your wickedness and will punish you for your sins." Come on, man. The Lord, again, we know, obviously reading through the scripture that point in time that the Lord completely turned his face away from us, man.
Yeah.
All right. And henceforth, the point of goddamn slavery that we went through for a couple hundred years,
Still.
1,000 years, that's still constantly going on.
Because if I could add to that, it's because of Yahweh that we even have access to the Father. His face still turned away from us, but what? Yahweh is there mediating for us,
Right.
intercessing for us, man.
Yep.
He's the one that's like, Lord, give him grace. He's the, like brothers say all the time, he's the lawyer. Yahweh's the judge. He's the one, he's mediating. We the defendants, man. But go ahead.
I think I fell off. That was 14 and 10?
Yeah.
13.
11. 14 and 11.
14 and 11. It's,
I don't know if you finished.
Yeah. It says, now I will remember all your wickedness and will punish you for your sins. The Lord gonna remember your sins. Come on, man. And we know that every single person on this goddamn earth, man, has sins that is worthy of death. So the Lord could literally wipe out this whole place and have adjustable cause behind it if he really wants to. But again, we have a mediator that actually stepped foot on this earth and sacrificed himself for us. You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, the true Israelites of the scriptures. All right, but this is Jeremiah 14 and 11. It's playing in LT. Says, "Then the Lord said to me, do not pray for these people anymore." All right. Come on, man. The Lord don't even want to deal with these niggas. How much we don't even want to deal with these niggas. How much more even with the Lord? You know? But you could get that Jeremiah 2 from me, Baba Shah? What was that, 2 and 14?
It's Jeremiah chapter 2. Can I start at 11? I think you said 11.
Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 11. It says, had a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods? But my people have changed their glory for that which do not profit.
Come on, man. Our people have changed their glory for which that does not profit. All right, serving these fake gods, you know, and just basically following the ways of these damn heathen, man. All right, and that's what it seems like. It seems like Israel has traded Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for another god.
They
Right?
have.
That's what they have. Yeah. Yes. All right. You keep going. You can read down to 14.
It says, be astonished, verse 12, be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid, and be ye very desolate, said the Lord Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
For my people have committed two evils.
Mm-hmm.
They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and have hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
One that can hold no water. All right, so you got a cistern that doesn't even do what the hell it's supposed to do. All right, and this is what y'all want. I'm the living waters. I am the source. And y'all want a cistern that's supposed to hold this water and can't hold the water? Come on, bro.
Lord, give up. We want a king like the other people.
Right.
What's wrong with you, nigga, man? What's wrong with you, bro? Like, that's crazy. But, verse 14. Huh?
No, I just want to say that the purpose of the bucket is to put water in it to be able to transport it.
Yeah.
Right.
But if the bucket can't hold water in it,
it has no purpose.
It now has no purpose.
Right. Imagine you go to the store and buy a case of water, and when you pick up the case, all the water in there, but every bottle you pick up, it got that much water in there.
Right.
Because they got holes at the bottom.
Right.
Well, what's the point of me buying a case of water?
Right. And you still got a bottle of water.
And you still got to
before you leave the store.
Exactly.
Got no water in
You
there.
don't got no water in there.
Yeah.
But that's Jake though, you know.
Yeah, the Lord is very good at throwing these analogies out there of us breaking this down and being like, that's stupid shit.
Yeah.
All right, but that's the mindset of our people. Apply that to niggas and say, hey, that's stupid as shit of what the hell we doing right now. All right.
I got one.
I
got one more.
Yeah.
Verse 14 is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? And why is he spoiled?
Come on, man. That's what it seemed like. All right. It just seemed like these niggas want to be slaves at this point.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all enjoying being ruled over by this goddamn devil.
They love the oppressors.
They love the oppressors. All right. They love this Moism that's going on. You know, they want to see how they could expand it even more like an empire, man.
Yeah.
But let's get this brother. We was swinging around.
This is 1 Samuel 15 and 23. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as the iniquity of idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh thy side, he hath also rejected thee from being king.
Start up one more for me.
This is 1 Samuel 15 and 22. And Samuel said, had Yahweh as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
To hearken than the fat of rams.
And that's a top 10 sacrifice. You know?
Yeah. So listening to the Lord is a top tier sacrifice. Yeah. It's value that comes behind it, man. We not out here trying to preach any type of demise to our people. If it was possible, like the Lord said, He would allow everybody of our people to come back to repentance if it was possible. It's not going to happen. Okay, but through that case, read that last part again. Sorry, lose my.
Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Hearken unto the Lord. All right, that holds a high value to the Lord, you know, in order to do these things. But let's see what the other side of the spectrum is. Make a point real quick.
I don't want to.
No, because the point about the switch.
Okay. I was about to say, and why would it be comparing obedience to sacrificing? The Lord said, I'd rather you obey than sacrifice, because in order to sacrifice, that means you had to transgress. Right? And the Lord don't want us to just transgress.
Right.
So he like, just listen the first time so you don't have to do a sacrifice.
Right.
Just obey. That's why obedience is better, because we don't go off and we just obey. Yeah, you got it.
You keep reading. First.
Verse 23. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity of idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he had also rejected thee from being king.
Done. So you don't want to be that rebel, all right? Because that rebellion right there is what it said as witchcraft, it says. And we know that witchcraft is a sin punishable by death. Okay. So again, not hearkening to the Lord, man, and going against the Lord, as we brought out in the James with that 4 and 4 or the 4 and 8 of the you basically become an enemy of the Lord, man. Right. All right. So that's the outcome of this thing. And again, you don't want to be against the Lord in these times that's coming towards us, man. All right. You're knocking away you're knocking down your defense. You know, in a time that you know that things are really about to start getting active and possibly fuck you up if you're not in the right place, you need a defense. And that is Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. All right. But what we just at? Yeah, you finished on the same. Okay, it's on you, does it occur?
Well, I found that changed.
You can still bring it up.
Once. I'm gonna get the one from out of Jeremiah. This is kind of going back to previously about how the Lord, basically the law is the ultimate Jake, right? He talks his stuff, talk his talk. You know what I'm saying? So this is Jeremiah 23 and verse 28. It says, the prophet that had a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that have my word, let him speak my word faithfully. It says, what is the chaff to the wheat, saith the Lord.
That's it right there. Yeah, go ahead, bitch. That's it right there.
Verse 29. It's not my
break that
okay,
down.
yeah. So basically the chaff is nothing, man. Right? The wheat basically being the grain, right? The chaff is what holds itself, the husk, right? Everybody peels away the chaff. The chaff is unthinkable, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why whenever the Lord talks about destruction, right, it talks as if it's the chaff blowing in the wind, man. And that's how the people are going to be, right? Fuel to the fire, man. Right. So they don't have a comparison. The wheat is everything, man. Verse 29, it says, is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces?
36.
Right? So yeah, man, the Lord has given the prophets, right, the different people, his word, man. When we speak his word, it's like a fire to these people, man. That's why Jeremiah said, when he speak the word, is as a fire, and these people are wood, okay? Or like a hammer that break a rock into pieces, man. Everything that's written in this book is for sure, is for true, and the Lord means it, man. He stands by his word, man.
Where's the faithfulness? Yeah.
Jeremiah chapter 5. It's Jeremiah chapter 5. 14. Yeah, it's 14. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna start at 11 though.
Oh, absolutely.
It says, for the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously against me, said Yahweh. They have belied the Lord Yahweh and said, it is not he, neither shall evil come upon us, neither shall we see sword nor famine, and the prophets shall become wind, and the word is not in them. Thus shall it be done unto them. Wherefore, thus said Yahweh, the power of heaven's armies, because ye speak this word, because it's like it, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and these people wood, and it shall devour them.
Want to devour them. All right. And how you going to be devoured? by the ICBM nuclear missile.
Absolutely.
All right, that's that fire that's coming because it just clearly said that you people of the wood. All right, where this fire coming from? It ain't coming from a lighter. You know, it ain't coming out the a flame torch. Nah, this is coming from the Lord, from the ICBM nuclear missiles that's going to come. You know.
Yeah, and in the word, you just speaking as a man, when you blow on the fire, what that do? It make the fire hot. It incinerates it. You know, but that's what the word is going to do ultimately. You know, it's going to incinerate the fire, and that's what the 2/3 in America, right? You heathens, it's going to be a big ass bonfire, man.
You gonna enjoy that bonfire from the chariots, Lord, when they have that number, man.
Sure.
Watching that sea of mingling glass.
Yeah, Revelation 15, baby.
Yeah, brother. That's gonna be a hell of a bonfire right there.
Yes, indeed.
But I just told you, who I told first? Did I tell you get something first, or that's we gonna get him? Yeah.
Psalm 40:4, it says, "Blessed is that man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respected not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies."
You know, and as you can see, that precept right there, just starting to wrap full circle. You know, we're gonna start getting final remarks too. But read it one more time.
Come on. Psalms 40:4.
Mhm.
Blessed is the man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respected not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies.
Not as such that turn to lies, you know, is the point I want to harken on. Because again, we can see that as many lies is being spread around this earth about our power, you know, who we truly know, you know, who we believe 144% is supping with our elders and apostles, you know, and furthermore through us, you know. But it says again, you know, blessed is the man that maketh the Lord his trust and respected not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. You know, so those are the people that are going to be saved by the Lord. You know, in the time of trouble, that's not hearkening to these bullshit philosophies, man. You know, that's coming out of these niggas' mouth and coming out of these damn devils' mouth, man. All right.
Hey, that's just like us, bringing it back for a certain to where we opened up with the shit with Nick Cannon. That's just like the men of the Lord. We don't got respect for what Nick Cannon talking about.
Hell no.
That's lies.
Yep.
All right, that's the lies of the proud and the wicked.
Yep.
All right, his heart has been deceived.
Yep.
But we don't respect it. We out here, we actually doing some edification because of that.
Right.
On him.
Yep.
Calling him out for it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's us not respecting those lies, man. That's the Lord.
That's the only good thing he did. You know, allow himself to be a dumbass for us to edify the situation. You know, that's the only thing. That's the good job, Nick Cannon, that you get from me. You know. But I think that was it on that.
Yeah.
We get that. You brothers got anything? Okay. You don't want to go. You got something, Hezekiah? Okay. You got it. 3 and
36.
yeah.
This is the book of St. John, chapter 3 and verse 36. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him.
So he that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life. All right? That's what we're looking for. We're believing in the Son. We're believing in Yahweh Shah. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. All right? And again, what's the result of that? Everlasting life. But what does it say on the back end? It says, and he that believeth not, the Son shall not see life. All right? So the Lord's going to knock you off, man, and you got to come back in them Hebrew huggings. Okay? If you don't believe in the Lord. All right? And it says, Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abided on. You know, pretty much the Lord gonna fuck over you. You know, but good. You can send it off on you. So you were straight, huh?
This is John chapter 8.
Yep. Gotta go.
I won't even
What, 8:44?
Really? Hey, that's good. Oh, yeah. Y'all want to get anything?
Oh, read it.
Yeah, you already know, man.
This is John chapter 8 and verse 43. I'll start at 42. It says, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, if the Most High were your father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech?
That's why.
Even because ye cannot hear my word. Verse 44, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father he will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. And when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it.
No, man. And that's what our people like to hearken to, man. Their father is the devil. All right. Their power source don't come from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right. So they hearken to the person, who was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. All right. So now you're going to get the results of that. All right. You're picking to put those colors on. You have to abide in the results that come from wearing those colors. All right.
Which is the so-called white man.
Yeah.
All right. The ones who's ruling in the time of Yahushua.
Yep.
The so-called white man.
Yep.
Esau Edom. Who's ruling now?
Esau
Edom. So ye are of your father the devil. Right? He was the murderer. He was what? Cain.
Yep.
Who came back in the reincarnation as Esau.
Yep.
You see? He's the father of the lies. He's the father of being a murderer.
Yep.
All right. And just a straight up wicked ass nigga, man.
It says the wicked go straight from the womb speaking line. Come on, man. From the get-go. These niggas just ain't right. But again, this is the nigga that you niggas, 2/3 of our people, like to hold dearly to your heart. Like the brother said, the Stockholm syndrome. Y'all still want that good job, nigga. That's what y'all still want. They don't want the good job. Here's your crown. They don't want that crown ceremony in Edris. They want that. Hey, you get what was it? The mule, the cent in the mule, 40 cent in the mule, 40 acres in the mule. That's what you niggas still looking for. You niggas still want that shit, man. Huh?
Yeah, our people love to call themselves king and queen that bow down to the white man. You can't be a king and you bow down to a servant. Oh, that's what they are. They are sheep.
All these niggas want to be kings and going to heaven.
Real shit.
Come on, man. Whoa.
Verse 45, it says, and because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. I'm going to jump to 32. It says, verse 31, it says, then Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him. Right? So it was before he even talked to the non-believing Jews, he told this to the Jews that actually believed. It says, then Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then ye are my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Read that last part one time.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth. It says, and then Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then ye are my disciples indeed.
God, you are my disciples indeed. An Israelite indeed. This is you. You are a disciple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua who follow faith. And that's what we're striving for. That's the glory that Jake's want, man. That good job. Everybody wants that good job, but it has to come from that right person, and that right person is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You got it.
Yep, verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, man.
Truth shall make you free, man. Come on, man. Spiritually, man, we as free as ever, man. We finally got the truth. We got that peace of mind that we've been looking for. We finally got that duty, that job that we have been appointed for. You see it in movies and shit like that. You see that everybody has I'm thinking about like that movie Ants. How they had the workers and the soldiers and shit like that. How everybody when he was born, you get your job. You know what I'm saying? But in a sense right here, man, we got the blessing to have the job opportunity place to be a prophet of the Lord, man.
That's it.
Come on, man. So
and
that's
go ahead, finish your point.
we can't fumble that. You got it.
And we've been free from everything. Free from the slavery of the mind. Right? Free from the slavery of the world. Free from the philosophies, the doctrines of the world. That's why I say you shall know the truth, and the truth gonna make you free. Because we understand what John 2:20. We have the unction to know all things. So the truth that which lies in the word, which is the scriptures, all right, has totally made us free from everything else and put us in bondage, all right, or subject unto us, or subject us unto Yahushua, man. You know, and that's the only thing that we subject unto, you know, which is ultimately being what? Free. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's it.
We could end it off on this
That's it for me, bro.
Come on, Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
The answer to that is nobody, man. All right. We got the name of the Lord, man. And we got the power, you know, coming through Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. So, you know, stand steadfast in this truth, man. You know, keep your hands on the plow, keep on working. You're almost out of here. All right. And look at the times of the old if you need to be remembered of what the Lord has done. We brought out a couple accounts where Eleazar and so on and so forth, but they have accounts throughout the scriptures of you need your faith to be boosted to see what it is to stand 10 toes for the Lord. You know, but if that was everything. We are like I got you. So trying to get out of here, again, pray that this camp was edifying. We're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto
Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Hakadash.
the belongings to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which is your brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. And a Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Kwame Yasharal.
That's right.
Shalom.
Shalom.